Hello there guys, my name is MrYorkiesWorld. Welcome back to the channel and a very rainy day today at Copenhagen with the Scandinavian Airlines flight 402 A321 by Aerosoft. Today, as you probably already guessed, we are going to be flying from Copenhagen, gate Bravo 7, and we're going to be travelling to Stockholm, which is some new scenery to my library. It's not new in itself, but it is new to the scenery library of mine, so I'm pretty excited to do the flight. Now, again, we've got very limited visibility. Well, not very limited, but quite limited, as you can see. And I'm excited to see what that's going to mean for this flight. It's been a while since I've actually done a flight in the Airbus. So, if you saw the departure video that I posted not so long since from Copenhagen, this is essentially going to be the rest of that flight, or a replica of that flight. It's not the exact flight. I was literally just doing a departure just for the sake of getting used to the Airbus again, and I will probably make no end of mistakes still. I don't know what the hell that was that just happened there. Probably the GSX catering crew. So nevertheless, we've got the aircraft set up into a reasonable state. Oh, okay, I need to close the doors, right. Just close those for GSX a moment. And we will go ahead and load in from our load sheet some information. So, let me just go into, where is it, load fuel, load sheet, and I'm going to go instant. And let me just take a look. So we've got everything else set up. We need to align the IRSs. And what I probably can do is request boarding as well. And let me just see if I need to... Yeah, there's some stairs there. So I'll open the forward aft, or the aft door. There we go, the aft entry. Right, okay, so parking brake we can set. Get rid of that. Fuel and payload, that's already been done. What we will do is go ahead and sort out the active nav data, which is the latest AirRack 1905 at the time of making this video. And we can go to the init page. Right, okay, so we've got a call route today of Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel to Echo Sierra Sierra Alpha, and it's 01. Our flight number is going to be SAS402. We're going to be using a cost index of 6 with a cruise level of 330. Let's just go and align the IRS. We did have some pretty bad weather. In fact, it was raining, but it isn't raining anymore. So, what I might do is turn off the logo light again. In fact, no, we're going to leave the wing and the logo on, just for the sake of it. We can arm the emergency lights. The seat belts and portable devices, they can be set to on, because the passengers are boarding now. We can start the APU, switch the APU bleed on and everything. Again, everything I'm doing now, it's been a long time and I've never been an expert with the Airbus, so I do apologise if I'm getting things wrong, but we all make mistakes. So, I'm just looking, got the fuel and payload, we need to sort out the route, and for that I also need to activate Pro ATCX. Just bear with me a second. Right, so that's the passengers being boarded. We can switch over the frequencies now. We've got Pro ATCX and request clearance.
Clearance delivery, Scandinavian 402. Our parking position is gate Bravo 7 with the 80th request clearance.
Scandinavian 402. Accept clearance within 2 minutes.
So going to wait about 2 minutes just for the clearance. That's
Roger,
fine. In the meantime, we can go to the flight plan page and just wait. Will it tell us in the flight plan information? No, it hasn't told us the route yet. So we're literally just going to wait to get our clearance.
Scandinavian 402, are you ready to copy?
We are ready. Go ahead.
Scandinavian 402, clear to ESSA via AST Oscar 1 Foxtrot departure and then S5. Climb and maintain flight level 60.
So 6,000 feet on the initial.
30 within 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 12.
And we can go ahead and bring up the information. It's only a short flight today. It's going to take about an hour and 8 minutes. Our departure time should be 0519 Zulu or 7:19 AM local time. So departures, we're going to be using runway 22 left, and we're going to be using the Asto 1 Foxtrot. So we can stick that in there. And our arrival, we're going to program that in because it's only a short flight. We're going to be going for ILS runway 19 left, using the Nilu 2 Papa arrival. What I will do is just very, very quickly check for any discontinuities in the flight plan, such as this one here. Get rid of that. And of course we need to work out the information on the perf init page. So we're going to be using flaps 1 for takeoff at up 0.2. So 1, and then up 0.2. Now, one thing I always forget is the fact that I think it's either the perf page or the init page has 2 sections, and I forget to do the zero fuel weight and the block fuel, which now is been done, so it's impossible for me to forget it now. So that's done. So V2 is 133 knots. The transition altitude is actually 6,000, I believe. I'll stick that in there. What else have we got? So the altimeter's been set. I don't do anything special with that. I literally just press B and it resets it. The portable devices, emergency lights and everything is sorted. The radios, the transponder we can check, but I know for a fact it's on standby. And the APU and everything's running, so it is literally just a case of waiting for the passengers to board. However, what we do need to do before we go ahead and do that, we don't really need to do it, but I like to do it. I'm going to put some fixed information in. So ESSA, I'm going to put a 50-mile radius ring, a 100-mile radius ring, and a 150-mile radius ring around the airport, just for my own personal reference. The navigation radios are already set up for the right frequencies and everything. That's perfectly fine. That's one thing I do like about the Airbus, is that everything is generally sorted out for you. You don't really have to do much. And of course, there we go. So I'm going to put the second FMC, or MCDU, onto the flight plan page. And obviously we've got the first MCDU set on the takeoff, sort of takeoff ref page. Let's just take a look at, have we got any passengers? No, we've not got any visible passengers boarding the aircraft. But nevertheless, I'm not really bothered. Visibility isn't perfect, as you can tell. Again, not a great deal I can do about it, but it will be pretty interesting. Let's just take a look, in fact, at the weather over at ESSA. I always like to re-put it in just in case it's not updated. So 130 at 11 knots sort of winds. Visibility, it's okay. Clouds, no clouds. And there's no rain or anything. So that's looking good. Hopefully it'll stay that way. So again, we're at Bravo 7. Our flight number is SAS402. The flight's going to take an hour and 8 minutes approximately. And let's just take a look at what time we're on at the moment. So we are on 0500 Zulu. And we should be departing by 0519 Zulu. Or 7:19 AM local time. Arriving at approximately 0630 Zulu, which will be 8:30 AM local time. But we'll soon see whether or not that actually happens. So the baggage is being loaded, and without further ado, I'm going to leave you guys for a split second for you, but for a few minutes for me, while everybody gets on the aircraft, and then we will get ready to depart. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay, so the baggage handling is complete. We're going to go ahead and close all the doors now. And we can also get rid of the jetway. Like so. Everybody's successfully on the aircraft. We are going to request pushback clearance.
Grant Scandinavian 402. Request startup and pushback.
Scandinavian 402. Startup and pushback approved.
Okay, so pushback is approved.
Scandinavian 402.
So we can switch on the fuel pumps. Ground control. Where's ground control? I've seen it somewhere around here. It is... See, this is when you don't use an Airbus very often. You end up forgetting where things are. Right. Just bear with me a second. So beacon light. We can switch that on. Where the hell is the ground control button? I've seen it somewhere. This is the thing. I've seen it. But I don't actually know where it is. It says ground control on it. There we go. Right there. Right, okay, so the beacon light's on. External power we can get rid of because we don't need that.
1871 is cleared off the runway. Request taxi for parking.
Scandinavian 1871. Taxi.
So get rid of that.
Bravo 5 November 22 parking spot.
We can set this to ignition.
Parking position.
And we can request... Oops, no, we don't want to taxi to the runway just yet. We want to request pushback. In which GSX should push us back. Wherever it is. Here we go. Again, nothing I'm doing here is probably the right way of doing it, but there we go. We're going to use auto brake max.
Good day, sir. Just waiting for some apron traffic.
And I should probably
be pushing back in a couple of minutes. Parking brake on.
Arm the spoilers as well. I think that's what you have to do. Frames are reasonable. I've got 40 or 41 frames per second with between 50 and 60 on the outside. Or external views. I think that might be to do with True Glass though, so if we disable True Glass, will that make a difference? Yeah, there we go. Sort of. In fact, no it hasn't. I don't even know why I did that. Just turn it back on.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released. And I'm going to go ahead and start engine 2.
Start at your discretion.
.60 FPS on the outside, external view, absolutely fantastic. Well, we saw a little bit of smoke there, so I'm assuming that's the engine spooled up. So we can do engine 1. So the frames aren't too bad now, we've got 50 FPS. Not looking too bad. I am indeed going to switch off the logo light and the wing light because we don't actually need them on now. Visibility's got a little bit better than it was. Especially on the outside. In the distance we had some fog, but it's not there now. And there we go, both engines appear to be fully spooled up.
Push now complete, set parking brakes please.
So parking brakes. What I will do is arm the auto throttle. We can put the ignition switch back to normal. We can switch off the APU bleed and the APU itself. We've still got the pushback truck there, so we're not going to switch on the lights just yet. Just wait while this guy's moved out the way. What we can do though is set flaps, so we can go flaps 1. And then of course we're using a trim of up 0.2,
Disconnected and clear.
which is going to be like somewhere near there. I'll just leave it there. Of course the spoilers are already armed. We should probably have waited while pushback was complete at this stage basically to do that, but they are armed. And when our friends decide to move out of the way, we should be able to taxi, so we're going to request clearance to taxi to the runway.
Grand Scandinavian 402, request taxi.
Scandinavian 402, taxi via Papa Delta Tango Victor 1 to runway 22 left.
Right, okay, so this is where we are at the moment. We're on Papa.
Runway 22 left.
We're going to go Yankee, Victor, Victor 1, and runway 22 left. Right. I probably shouldn't switch on the lights at this point, but I'm going to do anyway. So runway turn-offs and nose lights to taxi. Oh, look. We appear to have another SAS landing on, let me have a look. Where on earth are we at the moment? Ah, 22 right. That's where the aircraft's landing. Right, okay, so parking brake is released. The Airbus automatically starts moving. I don't actually have to do much. Should probably do a quick control check actually. So, full left, another aircraft up there, look. Scandinavian. Full right. And full forward and full back. Full left and full right, even though we're moving. But there we go.
Scandinavian 926, taxi via Bravo 2K Charlie 33.
And we're on our way to runway 22 left. Very, very busy today. In fact, a lot busier than what... In fact, no, it's not really. If I look, it is busy, but it's not busy. It's just that we're having a lot of incoming aircraft. Now, where is this guy going to go? Because if he's coming towards me, I think I should slow down a little bit. An A321. Oh, it's going the opposite way. That's okay. No problem.
Scandinavian 1871, hold your position.
We've got some unusual effects on the ground there. We're from the wheels.
Scandinavian 954. Is clear to the runway. Request taxi to parking.
We do have the immersion package. That might be why.
Via Bravo, Charlie 33. Scandinavian 954.
Another Scandinavian. All of this traffic appears to be Scandinavian. So anyways, without further ado, we do have a little bit of a distance to travel, so I'm going to catch up with you guys once we actually get to the runway threshold. Okay, so we are approaching the runway. 22 left, we're just waiting to see whether there's going to be any more traffic for a start, which... can't see any up there, so that's a positive. We might just be able to roll straight onto the runway and depart. But here we go. Lovely view. If I can follow the taxi line, that would be good. And let's just request clearance from tower.
Tower, Scandinavian 402. Holding short off runway 22 left, request departure.
SAS402, line up runway 22 left.
Okay, so we can line straight up. Let me just slow this down a little bit.
402.
So transponder TA and RA. We can switch on the landing lights and the nose light.
2 left.
And of course, what we also need to do is switch on the strobe lights. Like so.
On runway.
Oh, and there comes the rain.
Tower, Scandinavian 1415. On final, request landing. Runway 22 right.
SAS402, wind 200 runway 22 left, cleared for takeoff.
So clear for takeoff,
Runway
start the chrono,
22 left, cleared for takeoff. Scandinavian 402.
spool it up a little bit. And Toga. $80 knots. And here comes V1 and rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. And look at that view. Absolutely magnificent.
Scandinavian 402. With you passing 600 for flight level 60.
SAS402. Radar contact. Continue via AST. Oscar 1 Foxtrot departure. Climb to flight level 60.
Absolutely wonderful.
Flight Alpha Sierra Tango Oscar 1 Foxtrot. Departure climbing to
Look at that.
flight level 60. Scandinavian 402.
Oops, the rain's stopped now. So without further ado, autopilot's in command, 6,000 feet. We can take the flaps back.
Line 2440 with you.
Runway turn-offs can come off, and the nose light can come off.
SAS402. Climb to flight level 140.
140.
Climbing to flight level 140.
And we can set the signs to auto as well.
2440 identified. Descent to 4000.
Descending
Absolutely lovely. Look at that view.
line 2440.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So coming up on 6,000 feet, we can go standard. And I better put away the ground spoilers. We can unarm them, if you will. And as you can see on the navigation display, this departure essentially has us going out and then coming back round on ourselves. So it's
Departure, Luxair.
pretty unusual.
543 with you, passing flight level 127.
But nevertheless, here we come through the clouds.
5433. Maintain present altitude.
Present altitude,
Look at that.
Luxair 5433.
Luxair 5433 identified. Descent.
We'll soon be coming up on 10,000 feet.
Descending to flight level 120, Luxair 5433.
There we go with 10,000. Landing lights off. Wonderful, look at that.
SAS402. Climb to flight level 260.
So 260 on the altitude.
Flight level 260. Scandinavian 402.
Absolutely magnificent view. I don't really think you can get much better than that. Absolutely beautiful. It's one of the main reasons I absolutely love this platform. Active Sky Cloud Art, among other things. Again, if you want a list of the add-ons that make this video possible, you can head over to MrYorkiesWorld.co.uk. I've got my spreadsheet on there. But this is absolutely beautiful. Cannot get over how nice this looks. So, we're at 140 at the moment, or coming out of 140. Look at this. I know I keep going on about it, but that is unreal. So without further ado, I'm going to leave you guys with some amazing cinematics, and I will catch up with you a little bit later on into the flight. Right, okay guys, so as you can see we are currently at flight level 330, which is our cruise altitude today. This, on the navigation display that we are literally about to cross now, is the 150 mile radius ring around Stockholm. If we zoom out you can see, so 150, 150, and then of course we have the airport in the middle. So I'm going to basically prepare for the descent and everything. We've already programmed into the flight plan page even the star that we're going to be using and everything. Let me just copy that over to EFB. So if we go to flight plan information, we're using the Nilu 2 Papa star. So let's just do that on EFB.
For you, Captain. Here you are.
ILS 19 left. Right, there we go. So if I bring that over, this is the arrival. So we come from Nilug and we go to SA630 to Tebi, and then I'm assuming, yep, so Erkan, and then we'll be vectored onto CI19 left, hopefully anyway. So let's begin. So actually let's go back to that. So elevation 96, so 296 is going to be the minimums. Let me just go over to
Scandinavian 402.
Oh, here we go.
Descent to flight level 240.
We've been asked to descend to 240.
Flight level 240.
Let's just get that started.
402.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to approach. So let's have a look at ESSA. So the altimeter is currently 1004. The temperature is 17 degrees. The wind is 110 at 10, so 110 at 10. We're going to use a flaps full configuration, which gives us 134 knots on the final approach speed. The baro, again, we're going to set to 296. ILS 19 left. We can go to the RadNav or navigation radio page. 111.35 at 185, which according to EFB is 111.35 at 186, but it doesn't really matter about that one sort of number difference. So minimums has been done, ILS is everything. We need to, I mean it's a bit early, but what I will do is activate the landing system, just so that I don't forget. The speed brakes, we could arm them now, in fact I will. Passenger signs and landing lights and everything, we don't really need to do any of that just yet. But if we go down, we've got the landing set. We've already done the landing set. I'm just going through this checklist. And that is essentially it. So until we get to a reasonable flight level, we're not really going to need to do anything. You can see on the navigation display that by the 100-mile mark approximately, we should be at flight level 240, so that's fine, that's no problem at all. We've got a lovely exterior view, or wing view. Sort of water / marshland, whatever it is, area down there. And a similar view on the right-hand side. So yeah, it's just a case of waiting now, and what I will do is I'll leave you guys in a split second again. I'll catch you with you guys a little bit later on when we are about ready to configure ourselves fully and land this bird. So I'll see you in a bit. One thing I probably forgot to mention is that we should choose an auto brake. I'm going to use medium auto brake because the runway isn't the longest runway in the world, as you can see. So 2,500 meters. So we will use a medium auto brake. In fact, I could possibly use max, but I don't think it's really necessary. It's currently 5:54 Zulu. We should be landing at 6:30 Zulu, so not too far away now. But I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so we are currently making a left turn, and we should be advised by tower anytime soon to reduce down to 2,500. We're at 250 knots at the moment. If we zoom in and we go down onto the navigation display, you can see this is the final waypoint coming up, CI 19 left. We've got the landing system on. Obviously, as soon as that localizer and glide slope come in, we can activate that and hopefully go down to the final approach speed and everything. But look at the view. Absolutely gorgeous. Lovely clouds. Lovely effects. I've had to tone down the settings just a tiny bit. Literally from ultra, I set the complexity down to high, or the was it that, or was it like the detail distance or something? I literally just changed two options, and we're back at almost 60 FPS, 50 to 60 I would say, which I am definitely not going to complain about. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. So 2,500, we don't actually need to turn anywhere because we're already on course for that.
Right turn to heading 240, descending to 2,500, descending to 2,500.
I'm going to reduce the speed down.
402.
In fact, we're already at the ideal speed, so I'm going to set flat 1.
Descending to 2,500, Scandinavian 402.
We've got everything set.
2,500.
There we go, 2,500 feet. Final approach speed 133 plus 5, that's 133. 138. Just reduce down to our flaps 2 speed.
Tower, Scandinavian 402. On final, request landing. Runway.
Got the localizer.
SAS402. Slow to final approach speed. QNH 1004. Clear to land runway 19 left.
Okay, we're clear to land. So final approach speed.
1004. Clear to land runway 19 left, Scandinavian 402.
I'm going to go flaps 3 and gear down. And we will just select approach hold as well. And we can go flaps full now.
Line up runway 19 right.
So around 45 to 50 frames per second now, not too bad. So we've got the speed brakes armed with flaps full. We've been cleared for landing, gears down, 3 greens. We've got auto brake medium. And our final approach speed is set. Fully established. And we'll see if we can't make a mess of the landing.
At 10. Runway 19 right. Cleared for takeoff.
Runway 19 right, clear for takeoff. Scandinavian 264.
Just going to increase that speed a little bit to 140, just by 2 knots. Just to help with the attitude. And I'll attempt to take manual control at around 1,000 feet.
151. Holding short of runway 19 right.
SAS 2151. Line up runway 19 right.
Lining up runway 19 right. Scandinavian 2151.
If we look on the navigation display, we can see that we've got a 12 knot sort of headwind, sort of crosswind. It's blowing us to the right at the moment. You can probably tell the nose is pointing more to the left than it should be, just to compensate for that. So we'll have to take that into account. Lovely view.
Approaching 19 left.
So approaching 19 left, although we already know that. I'm going to disconnect. And we will see what we can do. Try not to go too low.
500.
Looking good on the pappies, looking good on the glide slope. 400 feet.
$300. 100 above. $200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 70. 60. 50. 40. 30. Retard 10. 5.
Touchdown. Reverses. Trying to keep the centre line.
SAS 402. Gate is right. Contact block on 121.7.
Okay, so I'm not sure what's happening there, but
402.
Remaining.
as you can tell, we did pretty well with auto brake medium. It's not the longest runway in the world. Got some unusual ground textures. Oops, bit of lag there as well. And I'm going to stop just at this threshold. And we will attempt to have a look at some of that replay footage. So parking brake is set. Let's go over and temporarily turn off UT Live. And take a look at some of those replays. Right, okay. So, after landing checklist. So, flaps, we can bring those up. We put these speed brakes away as well. Are we going to cross a runway again? No, we're not. So, we can indeed switch off the strobe lights. I will switch these to taxi. And switch off the landing lights. We can, of course, switch off the transponder or put it to standby. And of course we can go APU. Right. Okay, let's request taxi.
Scandinavian 402 is cleared of the runway. Request taxi to parking.
SAS402, taxi via Whiskey Zulu Gate Foxtrot 6.
Via Whiskey Zulu to Gate Foxtrot 36. Scandinavian
Right.
402.
So Foxtrot 36 is our gate. Welcome everybody to Stockholm, where the ground textures are very strange. Not entirely sure what's going on with them, but nevertheless. We can also stop the clock as well. And that took us, how long did that take us actually? 1 hour and 46 minutes, so it's saying 1 hour and 46 minutes. I'm not sure whether that includes the time on the ground and everything like that and taxiing, but it did say 1 hour and 8 minutes. And it's 1 minute past the time that we should have touched down. So it's 8:30 AM local time. So personally, I think we did pretty well. Now the shutdown procedure is going to be interesting because I am not an expert, as we all know, especially with Airbus. I've always preferred Boeing, so do appreciate that and do take that into consideration. But look at this, absolutely gorgeous, wonderful. The ground textures are very grainy. I'm not sure whether it's just me, but I think they are very, very grainy. And I did do a night flight, and I noticed they were even more grainy, which didn't look very realistic at all. I'm not sure whether that's something that I've done to the sim, or something that can be changed somehow. I've no idea, but I'm sure we'll find out. So without further ado, I'm going to take over, or take us over, to the gate, Foxtrot 36, which is the exact gate this aircraft arrived at in this real world flight. So I will see you guys in a few minutes. Right, okay, so we've already set GSX up. In fact, I set GSX up when we were still in the air. So hopefully GSX will be there waiting for us at gate Foxtrot 36. This is what I mean by the very grainy textures. I'm not sure what's causing this. If anybody happens to know the reason that this could be happening, I have no idea. Could be to do with maybe anti-aliasing or something, or I have no idea, but we'll sort it out. Not really a priority at this minute in time, because apart from that, I mean, we're dealing with some pretty nice scenery anyway, so I'm not too fussed. Look at that. So it's the next turning on the left that we need to be taking. And let me just have a quick look and see if we can see GSX. Think I can see them there. Now whether or not Foxtrot 36 is modelled the same way as what it is in real life, I don't know. But we're going to test it out. That's Foxtrot 38, and that's Foxtrot 36, I believe. Let me just check. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Wrong way. Definitely a large gate. Foxtrot 36, there we go. Parking brake is set. Right. Okay, so with that, do we have a jetway that works? Or is it... I don't think it's going to work. Right, okay. I'm going to go ahead and connect external power. External power is on, we can switch off the APU. We should probably have switched off these lights as well. And we can cut the engines. Will GSX allow me to operate the jetway? Yes. So we can switch off the signs. Is the jetway actually working? I don't think it is. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Probably the wrong jetway. I should have chosen that one, but it is on its way somewhere. So we'll open the doors ready for it. So those doors can be opened, and the forward and aft cargo. And we can, of course, request deboarding. Right. So welcome everybody to Stockholm, which I'm not sure whether that was the best flight in the world. However, we are in an unfamiliar aircraft for me. So I'm not sure I did my best, but I did my best, if you get what I mean. We are definitely at the right gates because there's SAS aircraft around. In fact, all of the aircraft around this local area seem to be Scandinavian. So there we go. We've got the disappearing jetway. Wonderful. Hope that's fixed in 4.5. If anybody knows that, let me know. But welcome once again to Stockholm. Hope you enjoyed the flight, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.